Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the second annual conference of Islamic Economic and Business with the theme Green Business within the Framework of Sustainable Development Goals, as known as SDGs. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin, wassalatu wassalamu ala asrafil anbiya'i wal mursalin wa ala alihi wa ashabihi ajma'in. Amma ba'd. First of all, we would like to say to God, who has given us mercy and blessing, so we can attend this blessing place. Salawat and salam, let's put our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, who has brought us from the darkness to the likeness. The Excellency, Rector of IAIN Sultan Amai Gorontalo, Sir Dr. Haji Zulkarnain Suleman MHI. The Excellency, the third Vice of Rector IAIN Sultan Amai Gorontalo, Sir Dr. Mujahid Damopoli MPD. The Excellency, the Dean of Islamic Economic and Business Faculty, Sir Dr. Roni Muhammad SAMSE. The Excellency, the first Vice of the Dean Islamic Economic and Business Faculty, Mrs. Dr. Asna Usmandilo MPD. The Excellency, the second Vice of the Dean Islamic Economic and Business Faculty, Sir Dr. Sawaluddin MSE. The Excellency, the third Vice of the Dean Islamic Economic and Business Faculty, Sir Dr. Sofian SAE MA. The Excellency, all of the lecturers of Islamic Economic and Business Faculty, and the Honorable all of the participants of the second annual conference of Islamic Economics and Business organized by Islamic and Economic and Business Faculty IAIN Sultan Amai Gorontalo. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the next agenda is sing the Indonesian anthem song. The audience cordially invited to stand up. Menyanyikan lagu Indonesia Raya, hadirin dimohon berdiri. Hadirin dimohon duduk kembali. The next agenda, reciting dua by the Excellency Sir Rivaldi Dekadir SAE MEK. The time is yours.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Bapak Ibu hadirin, marilah sama-sama kita berdoa untuk kelancaran dan keberkahan acara pada pagi hari ini. Izinkan saya memimpin doa dengan cara Islam. Bapak Ibu hadirin sekalian, mohon berkenan untuk menyesuaikan sesuai dengan keyakinan masing-masing. A'udzu billahi minasyaitonir rajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Hamdan syakirin, hamdan na'imin, hamdan yuafi ni'amahu wa yukafi mazidah. Ya Rabbana lakal hamdu kama yanbaghi li jalali wajhikal karim wa 'azimi sultanik. Ya Allah, ya Tuhan kami, segala puji untukmu, pemelihara alam semesta. Segala puji atas karunia dan kenikmatan yang Engkau limpahkan kepada kami. segala puji atas keagungan-Mu, segala puji atas kemuliaan-Mu dan kekuasaan-Mu. Allahumma salli wa sallim ala Sayyidina Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa ashabihi ajma'in. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadar Rasulullah. Ya Malik ya Quddus, kami agungkan nama-Mu karena hanya Engkaulah Tuhan kami. Hanya kepadamu kami bersujud, hanya kepadamu kami bersyukur, dan hanya kepadamu kami memanjatkan doa. Ya Rahman ya Rahim, hanya kepadamu kami menyembah, dan hanya kepadamu kami memohon pertolongan. Ya Rabbana, hari ini kami berkumpul di sini dalam kegiatan Second Annual Conference of Islamic Economics and Business, berdiskusi mengurai fikir untuk memberikan sumbangsi terbaik bagi bangsa ini. Karenanya ya Allah, lancarkanlah acara kami, berkahilah, penuhilah pertemuan ini dengan kebaikan dari awal hingga akhir nanti. Bukalah pikiran kami, lenturkanlah lidah kami, dan berikanlah kepada kami ide-ide cemerlang untuk membangun kekuatan ekonomi bangsa ini. Ya Allah yang maha mengetahui yang gaib, bimbinglah kami dengan hidayah-Mu, berkahilah kami selalu dengan takdir-Mu, dan jadikanlah hati kami selalu ridho dengan pemberian-Mu. Rabbi shrah li sadri, wa yassir li amri, wahlul uqdatam min lisani, yafqahu qawli. Ya Tuhanku, lapangkanlah dadaku, lancarkanlah lidahku, serta mudahkanlah urusanku. Allahumma arinal haqqa haqqa, warzuqna ittiba'ah, wa arinal batila batila, warzuqna istinabah. Ya Allah, tunjukkanlah kepada kami bahwa yang benar adalah benar, dan berikan kepada kami kekuatan dan kemampuan untuk menjalankannya, serta tunjukkan bahwa yang salah adalah salah, dan berikan kepada kami kekuatan dan kemampuan untuk meninggalkannya. Rabbana atina fid dunya hasanah wa fil akhirati hasanah wa qina adzabannar. Ya Allah ya Tuhan kami, limpahkanlah kepada kami kebahagiaan di dunia dan di akhirat, dan hindarkanlah kami dari azab api neraka-Mu. Wassallallahu ala Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifun, wassalamun alal mursalin, walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, the next agenda is speech. The first speech will be delivered by the Dean of Islamic Economic and Business Faculty, IAIN Sultan Amai Gorontalo, The Excellency Dr. Roni Muhammad S.A. MSE. The stage is yours.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Yang saya hormati Bapak Rektor, Wakil Rektor, anggota Senat, para wakil-wakil dekan, para dosen dan peserta semuanya yang berasal dari beberapa perguruan tinggi dan adik-adik mahasiswa. Puji syukur mari sama-sama kita panjatkan pada Allah Subhanahu wa taala, karena dengan izinnya lah alhamdulillah bahwa kami dari Fakultas Ekonomi dan Bisnis Islam kembali untuk melaksanakan kegiatan yang kemarin workshop khususnya untuk penguatan UMKM yang dibuka langsung oleh Pak Rektor, dan alhamdulillah pada hari ini kami melaksanakan kegiatan yang bersifat untuk internasional. Bapak Ibu dan para hadirin yang saya hormati, saya menyampaikan ucapan terima kasih kepada Pak Rektor, Pak Warek yang tidak henti-hentinya mendukung kegiatan kami, dan alhamdulillah berbagai kegiatan khususnya di Fakultas Ekonomi dilaksanakan. Dan kami sampaikan juga sama Pak Rektor, dalam waktu dekat ini kami insya Allah juga akan melaksanakan menunggu asesmen khususnya untuk peningkatan akreditasi prodi ekonomi syariah, Dan yang kedua, kegiatan-kegiatan kemahasiswaan yang dibiayai oleh dana DIPA, alhamdulillah untuk perbankan ekonomi saat ini sementara berjalan, dan alhamdulillah untuk perbankan mereka mengambil kegiatan PB Go to School di Buol. Mereka melaksanakan kegiatan untuk di pusatan di salah satu sekolah dan diikuti oleh berbagai SMU, SMK dan alia yang ada di Kabupaten Buol. Ini untuk salah satu wujud tanggung jawab kami untuk mempromosikan khususnya IAIN, lebih khusus untuk Fakultas Ekonomi dan Bisnis Islam. Dan insya Allah kegiatan pada hari ini bisa untuk diikuti oleh semua, dan harapan kami dari Fakultas Ekonomi dan Bisnis Islam khususnya Pak Rektor tetap mendukung kegiatan-kegiatan khususnya di Fakultas Ekonomi sendiri. Saya selaku dekan memohon dengan hormat kepada Pak Rektor untuk dapat membuka acara ini dengan resmi. Demikian, billahi taufiq wal hidayah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, the next agenda, speech by Rector of IAIN Sultan Amai Gorontalo, and will open the second annual conference of Islamic Economic and Business Faculty, The Excellency Sir Dr. Haji Zulkarnain Suleman, MHI. The stage is yours.
Mau bahasa Inggris atau bahasa Arab? Supaya bisa dimengerti saya pakai bahasa Indonesia saja. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin. Wassalatu wassalamu ala asrafil anbiya wal mursalin sayyidina Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa ashabihi ajmain, amma ba'du. Itu bahasa Arab. Saya lanjutkan dengan bahasa Indonesia. Puji syukur kehadirat Allah Subhanahu wa taala yang atas kodrat, taufik, inayahnya memberikan kesempatan, kesehatan, keafiatan bagi kita sekalian, sehingga pada pagi hari ini kita bisa hadir bersama-sama dalam rangka pembukaan Second Annual Conference of Islamic Economic and Business. Itu bahasa Inggris. Jadi tercapai 3 bahasa yang saya bawakan. Saudara-saudara sekalian, sebagai Rektor IAIN Sultan Amai Gorontalo, terlebih dahulu saya ingin menyampaikan apresiasi saya kepada Fakultas Ekonomi dan Bisnis Islam yang melaksanakan kegiatan ini. Kemarin saya juga sudah membuka kegiatan di FEBI, dan hari ini juga saya berkesempatan untuk hadir dengan Bapak Ibu sekalian. Saudara-saudara sekalian, saya mungkin akhir-akhir ini banyak kegiatan ke luar daerah. Saya mohon maaf kepada saudara-saudara sekalian yang ketika mengundang saya bahwa saya tidak sempat hadir untuk bersama saudara-saudara sekalian. Berbagai kegiatan yang saya harus lakoni di luar daerah semata-mata memperjuangkan bagaimana IAIN ini terus berkembang. Kemarin saya dengan Pak Warek II kita mempresentasikan untuk kebutuhan IAIN di tahun 2024. Kita diberikan kesempatan untuk mengusulkan proyek besar untuk IAIN yaitu dana yang proyek yang dibiayai oleh dana SBSN, Surat Berharga Syariat Negara. Itu nanti 2024 insya Allah kami berjuang lagi. Setelah tahun 2023 yang sekarang ini ongoing, proses lelangnya kita mendapat 30 miliar. Untuk beasiswa KIP, alhamdulillah tahun ini kita mendapat kesempatan sebesar 125 orang tahun ini, dan untuk tahun depan kita sudah dialokasikan mendapat 250 orang. 2024 saya melobi untuk kita harus dapat sebanyak 500 orang. Ini semua semata-mata saya dan seluruh unsur pimpinan berjuang untuk bagaimana IAIN itu harus maju. Majunya IAIN tergantung pada banyaknya mahasiswa. Banyaknya mahasiswa sangat tergantung pada bagaimana perjuangan kita memberikan subsidi kepada mahasiswa yang bisa masuk ke IAIN. Hari ini, Bapak Ibu sekalian, tim dari KPK akan melakukan evaluasi terhadap penerimaan mahasiswa di IAIN Sultan Hamid Gorontalo hari ini. Saya mengundang unsur pimpinan semua, Senat, untuk hadir bersama tim dari KPK. Kita presentasikan bagaimana model rekrutmen mahasiswa, bagaimana model pembayaran UKT. Yang pasti masuk di IAIN tidak ada yang basogo. Masuk di IAIN kita usahakan mahasiswa yang kita kasih uang. Jadi seperti itu Bapak Ibu sekalian, upaya kita untuk mengembangkan IAIN Sultan Hamid Gorontalo. Fakultas Ekonomi dan Bisnis Islam dalam upaya mengembangkan IAIN ini melalui berbagai kegiatan seperti ini. Jadi marilah kita sama-sama bersatu padu untuk membangun IAIN ini sesuai dengan tupoksi kita masing-masing. Saya, Pak Warek II, bekerja untuk bagaimana mendatangkan anggaran. Bapak Ibu bekerja bagaimana caranya kegiatan-kegiatan yang menunjang kegiatan akademik itu Bapak dan Ibu laksanakan. Nah, melalui kegiatan pada pagi hari ini, saya berharap bahwa annual conference ini tidak sekedar kita hadir, kita berbicara, tanpa output dari apa yang kita laksanakan. Annual conference ini tidak ada artinya kalau hanya sampai di ruangan ini. Saya harap implementasi dari apa yang kita dapatkan, bagaimana pengembangan ekonomi Islam. IAIN harus menjadi leading sektor untuk pengembangan ekonomi Islam yang dimotori oleh Fakultas Ekonomi dan Bisnis Islam. Oleh karena itu, Bapak Ibu Saudara-saudara sekalian, saya berharap bahwa rumusan-rumusan, rekomendasi-rekomendasi yang akan lahir, pendapat-pendapat ahli tentang bagaimana ekonomi Islam itu kita kembangkan, yang kita adopsi menjadi program di IAIN Sultan Hamid Gorontalo, itu sangat kita harapkan. IAIN melalui DIPA-nya terus berusaha untuk memberikan suplai anggaran bagi kegiatan apa saja yang tentunya kegiatan-kegiatan yang dibiayai berdasarkan alokasi anggaran dari APBN itu kita harapkan ada kontribusi, ada feedbacknya untuk kita sekalian. Hasil annual conference pada hari ini bukan untuk konsumsi kita hari ini, tapi bagaimana pengembangan ekonomi Islam di masa yang akan datang. Nah, atas hal itu saya berharap ikutilah kegiatan ini dan sebaik-baiknya, hasilkanlah rekomendasi yang terbaik, jadikanlah hasil ini menjadi rujukan bagi kita bersama ke arah pengembangan IAIN Sultan Amir Gorontalo. Terwujudnya UIN Sultan Amir Gorontalo menjadi dambaan kita semua. Semoga salah satu kegiatan ini menjadi ikon untuk menuju ke UIN. Saya kira ini. Thank you. Allahumma muwaffiq ila aqwamit thariq. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's all the opening ceremony of the second annual conference of Islamic Economics and Business with the theme Green Business within the framework of Sustainable Development Goals, as known as SDGs, organized by Islamic Economic and Business Faculty, IAIN Sultan Gorontalo. Well, ladies and gentlemen, let's close the agenda by reciting Hamdalah. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin. Billahi taufiq wal hidayah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Dilanjutkan dengan foto bersama. Kami mohon kesediaan Bapak Rektor IAIN Sultan Gorontalo untuk dapat berfoto bersama dengan seluruh panitia dan seluruh stakeholder di Fakultas Ekonomi dan Bisnis Islam. Disilakan Bapak Ibu. We would like to continue to the international conference. We cordially invited the moderator of today to take the space, the Excellency Ms. Dr. Asna Usman Jilo. The microphone is yours.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Well, good morning for ladies and gentlemen. I am Asna Usmandilo as your moderator in this second annual conference of Islamic Economic and Business with the theme Green Business within the framework of Sustainable Development Goals. First, I give a thanks for our speakers that attend in this Zoom. The first speaker is Faisal Abdullah, PhD. And the Faisal Abdullah, PhD, he is of Flinders University, South Australia. The second speaker, that Christina Fijun, PhD, that is from University of South Australia. And the third, Professor Iwan Triyono, PhD, he is a lecturer Brawijaya University, Malang. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the first will be give their material for you. The title, Implementation of Green Business and Sustainable Development for the Banking World, and he will be share his knowledge for 30 minutes. But before that, I would like to share for you about the CV of here's Faisal Abdullah. Faisal Abdullah holds a Bachelor of Accounting from Hasanuddin University, Indonesia, an MBA, International Business, and his PhD from Flinders University, Australia, respectively. Faisal Abdullah, more than 20 years of professional working experience in different organizations as a bank, accounting firms, not-for-profit organizations, and universities. Faisal has a strong passion for teaching and learning since his studying as undergraduate. Further, he has industry experience before joining the university as economic, both national and international. He has with a broader understanding of how to bridge the gap between theory and best practice. Then, in this time, his teaching methodology enables his students to explore deeper about the topic and success in their studies. In this time, too, Faisal has been in teaching role in different higher education institutions at the late since 2015 till this present. The last, Faisal is a speaker of various events such as workshop, conference, meeting, and other both national and international level. Now, audience, we will listen about his material implementation of green business and sustainable development for the banking world. The time's for yours.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me, Ibu? Can you hear me?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you very much. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. It's been my pleasure, my humble and honor to accept this invitation when Bapak Muhib, the former Dean of Faculty of Islamic Economics and Business, IAIN, Sultan Amai Gorontalo, approached me a few months ago regarding this international conference. I was humbled to accept that invitation. I'm very happy to contribute to this event, such a wonderful event to meet our colleagues, brothers and sisters in IAIN Sultan Amai Gorontalo. I know the topic is very interesting, challenging, because it's a current topic for not only countries but individuals as well, that we need to consider right now about the sustainable development goals for our young generation, for the future generation for sure. I hope everybody has had that breakfast. Mudah-mudahan semua sudah makan ya, sudah makan pagi di Gorontalo ya. Saya rindu masakan Indonesia ya. Baru-baru saya pulang ke Makassar, bisa makan coto Makassar. Saya kurang tahu kalau di Gorontalo ada coto Makassar. Saya kurang tahu karena saya belum pernah ke Gorontalo. But anyway, thank you for having me. And if you don't mind, allow me to share my screen, right? Allow me to share my screen. So please allow me to share my screen. So if we are fortunate enough, then I assume that everybody can see my screen now, yeah? Okay. All right, I've been given the topic about the role of the banks in relation to the Sustainable Development Goals, and I'm particularly focused on the Islamic banking point of view. So why is it important to talk about the Sustainable Development Goals? We all know that according to the United Nations, they have set up 17 Sustainable Development Goals, from number 1, no poverty, as you can see on my screens, up to the last one, the 17th. But in this case, I would like to raise awareness to all people here in this wonderful meeting to have a look at these 3 aspects, right? Education, climate change, and poverty. So I think this is important. I know that any one of them is connected to one to another. We can't separate, but in this case, because the time limit, just want to talk about these 3 aspects and hope we have enough time to do so. So the first one, quality of education. Why does it matter? We all understand that education is very important to every individual, regardless who they are, right? So as a Muslim, seeking knowledge is compulsory, as one of the hadiths from the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, peace be upon him, saying that seeking knowledge is obligatory for every Muslim. So regardless of whether we are rich or poor, seeking knowledge is important. At least the knowledge or education about our deen, Islam, right? So without further delay, I would like to show everyone about the importance of education according to the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. So I hope you enjoy.
Access to education, as well as from a failure to acquire knowledge from which many are excluded. The SDGs need to be understood as an The SDGs need to be understood as an integrated whole. The gains of realising one can never be fully met. without concerted efforts to achieve all. But clearly, education is among the most important. Many of the injustices that the SDGs target result from a lack of access to education, as well as from a failure to apply the knowledge from which many are excluded. Realising education gains are so important. Worldwide, 262 million children did not attend school in 2017, a situation likely to have worsened in the face of the COVID-19 crisis. In Australia, 60% of young people from low socioeconomic backgrounds do not complete high school. And rural and remote Australians make up 36% of the total population, but account for only 17% of tertiary students. Many face barriers to quality education. Allowing those barriers to endure robs people of the ability to get out of poverty and realise their dreams. And it stops them from making the contributions to life on this planet from which we all benefit. Hello, my name is Rawdon Wilkinson. I'm the Pro-Vice-Chancellor for Education and the Student Experience at UNSW and Professor of International Political Economy. But I'm also a passionate advocate for global public policy initiatives designed to tackle enduring inequalities and injustices, and I'm a proud champion of the Sustainable Development Goals. The goal of Sustainable Development 4 deals specifically with quality education. It's designed to secure inclusive, quality education for everybody. This is more than learning the alphabet or times tables. It is a goal that envisions the lifelong pursuit of learning and the application of understanding in all areas of society. The COVID-19 pandemic has highlighted the differential experiences of women and men and the role that a lack of appropriate understanding plays. During quarantine, mothers have overwhelmingly taken responsibility for the homeschooling of children, while often working full-time and taking on a higher proportion of domestic labour. Women are also more likely to be essential workers or to have lost their jobs. Shocking as it may be to hear, throughout the world, forms of modern slavery endure. These forms of slavery include indentured servitude, child marriage, forced labour and sexual exploitation. It is impossible to understate the potential of education to transform gender relations and make a meaningful impact on each of these forms of modern slavery. Educating boys worldwide about gender justice can pave the way for a future where consent and equity are prioritised and where violence and domination are decoupled from ideas about masculinity. Equally, educating women and girls is a hugely powerful way to address global poverty. It can help guard against gendered exploitation and abuse by giving women and families more option in life, including around career opportunities and family planning. Other challenges abound. Racism exists at every stage of education. From their earliest years, children of colour face stereotyping, bullying, and stricter punishments for perceived misbehaviour. This is especially true for children of black and indigenous backgrounds. Students of colour are singled out with demands to provide perspectives in emotionally fraught debates on topics like Black Lives Matter. Education is also a challenging space for teachers of colour, who frequently receive biased feedback and racist insults in students' evaluations of their teaching. All these experiences are a blight on the educational experiences of many. Access to quality education is all too often determined by where you live. The underrepresentation of rural Australians in university education is not due to differences in aptitude. People living in regional Australia are just as capable and full of potential as students in metropolitan areas. However, the costs of relocating to a city to study are prohibitive for many. Students living in cities are generally more able to live with family while they study, while students who relocate need to have access to funds for rental bonds, rent payments, food and other living expenses. Equally, students from rural and regional areas are also much more likely to be female, older and caring for dependents, such as children, the elderly and the sick. The lack of opportunities for tertiary education in non-metropolitan areas, as well as in low and low-middle income countries, can have huge ramifications. If nearly 75% of students who leave do not return after their studies, the supply of professionals, particularly those with community connections, will be constrained with inevitable consequences for local populations. This in turn has adverse effects on the economic prospects of rural and regional towns and low middle income countries alike. These are just some of the reasons why I'm championing SDG 4 at UNSW. Education transforms lives for the better. It enables socio-economic mobility, breaking cycles of violence, poverty and indignity. It is critical in reducing inequalities and improving gender equity, and it helps mitigate and adapt to the effects of climate change. I hope you will be champions with me.
Okay, I hope everybody enjoyed the short video. So we turn to my presentation. Okay, so I myself put education as number one, despite the United Nations put that on the 4th place. The reason because education, as I said, is very important for everybody, regardless who they are, right? So what do we know actually about the education facts in the last 1 decade? As you can see on my screens, there were 140 million children are estimated to have missed out the education because of the pandemic. And when we calculate that in terms of the potential income combined, right, surprisingly, it counts for $17 trillion of lifetime earnings in the according to the present value. So it's such a huge loss for people, particular children, right, in age school. In 2015, the proportion of young people completing upper secondary school increased from 54% in 2000 to 58% in 2020. As you can see from the short video, even in Australia, not all children completed their primary school because of many obstacles. Children who live in remote areas, sometimes they find it difficult or challenging to move in the city because of they have no relatives there, so they have to pay more in terms of the expense that for the living and others. Even though the educations in primary school level in Australia pretty much cheap compared to other developed countries, but children who live in a remote area find it sometimes difficult. The data from 73 countries, mostly in the low and middle income bracket, indicated that between 2030 and 2021, there were about 7 in 10 children who were 3 and 4 years old are developmentally on track, meaning that they become anxious, depressed, right, because of the pressure they have in that age. So it's a massive issue for all stakeholders, not just the schools, but also the parents, to consider these issues before it becomes too late for everyone to sort it out. In 2020, about 1/4 of primary schools globally didn't have access to basic services such as electricity, drinking water, and basic sanitation facilities. We have seen many schools around the world, they don't have these kind of facilities. It's sad because this is the fundamental necessity that the school should have, right? Every school. Roughly 50% of primary schools had access to facilities such as information communication technology and disability adapted infrastructure. So only 50%, roughly, those schools around the world have that kind of facilities. In 2020 as well, there were about 12 million pre-primary school teachers, 33 million primary school teachers, and 38 million secondary school teachers working in classrooms around the world. And 83% of them, right, were trained. So there are a big number that teachers are not trained yet. So this is also a challenge for all stakeholders, including the government, in particular the Minister of Education, to find a ways to formulate a program that can reach out these teachers who are not trained yet. So because if we have a good teachers in terms of their knowledge and their expertise, experience, that will have positive impact to the students as well. And in terms of the numbers, you can see there, 12 million, 38 million, 33 million. So in combined, we only have like 90 million people work as teachers in the world, compared to how many children go to schools every day. So there's an imbalance number in there that we also need to consider. So targeted results according to the United Nations for Sustainable Development Goals, as you can see, some of them are highlighted here. By 2030, the United Nations ensure that all girls and boys complete free, equitable and quality primary and secondary education, leading to relevant and goal number 4, effective learning outcomes. That's what they expect. So by 2030, all children in the school age have completed their primary and secondary education level. Also by 2030, United Nations ensure equal access for all women and men to affordable and quality technical, vocational and tertiary education, including university. So they expect that all women and men can go to the university, which is affordable for them. And last one I would like to highlight here is the United Nations also expect to eliminate or to diminish the differences between gender disparities in education, and ensure equal access to all levels of education and vocational training for the vulnerable, including persons with disabilities, indigenous peoples, and children in vulnerable situations. I'm pretty happy with the current government in Indonesia, because they pay attention to people with disabilities, right? They provide access to students with disabilities, for example, providing lift so they can attend the university to study, because that's important for their future. So how Islam perceives this education? So I'll quote some of the surah from the Quran, especially from the Holy Quran, Surah Al-Alaq, verses 1 to 5. Allah says in the Quran, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, Iqra bismi rabbika alladhi khalaq, khalaqal insana min alaq, Iqra wa rabbukal akram, alladhi allama bil qalam, allama al insana ma lam ya'lam, which means, read, O Prophet Muhammad, in the name of your Lord who created humans from a clinging cloth. Read, and your Lord is the most generous, who taught by the pen, taught humanity what they knew not. This ayah has a huge meaning for Muslims around the world. Why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sends this ayah to our Prophet, beloved Prophet Muhammad as the first ayah? Because as a Muslim, we are wanted to be the leader of the ummah, right? Through the education, because only education can solve the problems of the ummah, the problems of the people on the planet, in the comprehensive meaning, not just education about religion, but education as a whole aspects, right? How to teach our kids, for example, to understand the importance of look after the environment, right? To put the rubbish on the bin, for example, right? To make up their beds every morning, to teach them discipline. That's part of the education, to respect other people, right? So those kind of things are related to education. That's important, because Allah wants us as Muslims to be the leader of the people in this world. And the hadith of Prophet Muhammad also saying, as I said at the beginning, seeking knowledge is obligatory for every Muslim. Acquire knowledge and impart it to the people. So when we have a knowledge, we need to share to other people as well, so it become useful, not just for ourselves, but also for other people, and it become a sadaqah jariyah, inshallah. A father gives his child nothing better than a good education. So the best gift that we can give as parents to our children is the education, good education. And also the Prophet Muhammad says in one of the famous hadiths, one who treads a path in search of knowledge has his pathway to paradise made easy by God. So any Muslim who is struggling to seek knowledge, jihad, because that's the true meaning of jihad, seeking knowledge, seeking a better life, inshallah, Allah make his way easy to go to paradise, to go to Jannah. And we all hope that we are in an education sector as a lecturers, as a teachers, right? Even as a students, we are all in the process of learning and seeking knowledge. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ease our way to go to paradise. Inshallah, ameen. So come to the role of the Islamic Bank. What does Islamic Bank do regarding the education? I don't provide the data here, but if you want to find out about the data, you can go to the Islamic Development Bank website. They provide a lot of data, statistical data, and I'm pretty sure the other speakers will talk about it. We have a Professor Iwan Triono coming next, and also Professor Adiwaman Karim. They're all very respected speakers, not just in Indonesian level, but I think it's globally. Read the articles previously. They're very, very, very excellent in delivering their knowledge to audiences. So I'm pretty sure they will give us some highlights of the current situations, particularly in Indonesian context. So the role of Islamic banking in education are divided into three. First, the Islamic banking corporation for building school infrastructure. According to the data, there were more than 100 countries have been implementing the Islamic banking system, and they currently working together under Islamic Development Bank to build school infrastructures, so to accommodate more children who can go to school with affordable fees. The other thing they do so far is providing scholarship for disadvantaged children. Islamic banks in Indonesia, such as Bank Syariah Indonesia, I believe they have done this program under their CSR, corporate social responsibility, by giving scholarship to people, to children in school age, either in primary or secondary school, or even in university level, who economically were disadvantaged, but they are able to study, then they will be given the priority to access that education. And the last one, what they did recently, is the global partnership in education and research. Islamic banking also perceive research is important part of the education process because it can tackle the issues in the society and propose a solution or suggestion to the stakeholders, in particular the government. So climate change, I put climate change as the second one. I don't know if we have enough time to watch these, but let me click.
Don't just get health insurance.
I hope you...
Health first with MIB. We all deserve to live in a world where flora and fauna of every shape and hue are given the conditions to survive and thrive. It's possible to reverse the effects of climate change, which threaten all life on Earth. And we all have a role to play in helping the UN achieve this goal by 2030. Our world is a beautiful place. It is home to countless life forms, from the mammals of Antarctica and the fish of the Gold Coast coral reef to us in our stunning cities. But it can be a harsh environment too. Life on Earth has always been at the mercy of the elements. Natural disasters like floods wash away whole ecosystems. Forest fires lay waste swaths of land. Hurricanes and earthquakes level settlements and make living incredibly precarious. These natural processes have created and shaped the land for millennia. But studies show that rising temperatures in Earth's atmosphere are making natural disasters like these much more frequent and more severe. Global warming is a man-made modern phenomenon. It began with the Industrial Revolution.
We all deserve to live in a world where flora and fauna of every shape and hue are given the conditions to survive and thrive. It's possible to reverse the effects of climate change, which threaten all life on Earth. And we all have a role to play in helping the UN achieve this goal by 2030. Our world is a beautiful place. It is home to countless life forms, from the mammals of Antarctica and the fish of the Gold Coast Coral Reef to us in our stunning cities. But it can be a harsh environment too. Life on Earth has always been at the mercy of the elements. Natural disasters like floods can wash away whole ecosystems. Forest fires lay waste swaths of land. Hurricanes and earthquakes level settlements and make living incredibly precarious. These natural processes have created and shaped the land for millennia. But studies show that rising temperatures in Earth's atmosphere are making natural disasters like these much more frequent and more severe. Global warming is a man-made modern phenomenon. It began with the Industrial Revolution. New machines automated tasks and helped business owners make lots of money. But because they relied on the burning of fossil fuels to function, factories dotted throughout the land churned out clouds of poisonous gases and changed the delicate balance of Earth's atmosphere. Since then, climate change has been exacerbated by a growing global population. Global warming is now at crisis levels. In China, the air can be so toxic that sometimes citizens wear face masks. And in the Arctic, the ice caps are melting, making it impossible for wildlife to survive. But eco-heroes everywhere are taking action against climate change. In the US, car manufacturer General Motors is working in partnership with the government to tackle climate change. It was one of the first signatories of the American Business Act on Climate Pledge and is investing heavily in electrification, thereby helping to cut down on greenhouse gas emissions. Architects around the world are creating eco-friendly houses and reducing their carbon footprint by replacing harmful concrete with natural materials like mud bricks and recycled shipping containers. And in Vancouver, school children are working with the city's urban forestry program to offset the effects of deforestation by planting lots of new trees in their neighborhoods, which consume dangerous carbon dioxide and produce healthy oxygen. Together, we can create a safe, resilient, and sustainable future for everyone.
Okay, I apologize for the technical issue. I don't know what. Oops, sorry. Sorry. So I think I need to close this. I'm sorry. So let me go back to the PowerPoint. So I hope everybody can see my screen right now. So global warming is very important right now. It's an important issue. That's why the United Nations encourages people to take action on mitigating the climate change. As you can see here on the screen, during the 800,000 years, right, below this line, right, the the CO2 carbon dioxide concentration on our atmosphere is just around 280 ppm, parts per million. This is a measure determined by the experts in that area during the pre-industrial period. But since the Industrial Revolution started in the beginning of 1900 until 1950, and then continues until now, right? As you can see, it's almost triple, 413 parts per million. So it's a huge warning for everyone to think about the future of the planet, because if there are a lot of carbon dioxide concentrated on the atmosphere, then that can cause a temperature rise, and that's not good for many lives, including us as a human being. Here in Australia, in last year 2021 and to this year 2022, it reached more than 20 million volume of Australian carbon credit unit. And that's alarm for the Australian government. And they already decided that in 2029, 2030, Australia is free from carbon emission, zero tolerance. So they, in Canberra itself, they encourage people to buy electric cars from now on. So by the time of 2030, there's no more car with petrol consumption. So according to the Islam, in Surah Al-Baqarah, verses 11, Allah says, when people are told, the corruptor, do not cause corruption on the earth, they say, we are but reformers. Unquestionably, it is they who are the corruptors, but they perceive not. So a lot of people destroy the environment on the planet, and when they've been warned or reminded not to do so, they say that we actually fixing it. So for example, like they cut the forest, right, take the wood and then make a furniture, but they didn't fix the forest through the deforestation. So that's really bad, right, isn't it? And this is our task as a Muslims to fix that issues by working together to remind the stakeholders, particularly the government. Some of the hadiths that I found from the sources, Rasulullah SAW, our Prophet said that even look after the living being is a reward for the Muslim. From the authentic hadith Sahih Bukhari, there's a reward for serving any living being. There is none among the Muslim who plants a tree or sows seeds, and then a bird or a person or an animal eats from it, but it's regarded as a charitable gift. So whatever we plant on the ground, guys, if it does have a fruit and the birds eat it or they may not eat it, it's part of sadaqah jariyah for us, inshallah. What about the role of the Islamic banks? Again, I'll highlighted some of the CSR programs that have been conducted by Islamic banks around the world. Deforestation, replanting back the forests that have been exploited by the previous owner, in order to ensure that these forests can absorb the carbon dioxide in the future and release oxygen to the atmosphere, to the air, so the young generation can enjoy the healthy living environment. They also invest a lot in the renewable energy, like a turbine or electric car at the moment, but even though it's not published yet, but they did the investment in that regards. And also encourage people to minimize the excess of the plastic usage. Like in Australia, the government is trying to educate people to minimize the use of plastic in our life. So that's why if we go to shopping center here in Australia, we are encouraged to reuse the bag, right? Not keeping buying the plastic bag from the counter. So because of limited time, the last one is about zero poverty. I believe, as I said at the beginning, that through the education, good education, that can lead to other solution for other aspects, because of the education is the key to combat or to minimize all the risks in the people's life. Without good education, we can't beat the poverty nor the climate change. We have to educate people, our kids, how to understand the importance of a clean environment. We can teach our kids how to help the poor, right, by giving a zakah or sadaqah, for example, as a Muslims. Imagine that in our planet at the moment, there are 760 million people are poor. They are poor because of, according to the United Nations, their income is less than $2 a day. So if we have $2 income per day, or equivalent to 20.000 rupiah, kalau di Indonesia, kalau kita punya income 20.000 rupiah di Indonesia, alhamdulillah kita tergolong sebagai orang berada orang kaya. Karena according to the United Nations, if you have more than $2 per day as your income, then you are categorized as a rich people. But if you have income less than $2 per day, then you will be categorized as poor people. So you're most welcome to watch the video. It's a good video for everyone to look at, to consider how important the poverty, and then we can avoid it, right? And the Holy Quran said, one of them in Surah Al-Mujadilah, verses 13, then steadfastly continue to duly establish the prayer and give the zakat charity. So zakat, it has been ordered in the Quran because of the functionality, the reward inside of zakat and sadaqah are so huge, right? And we have to remember, as a wealthy person, inside of our wealth, there is a obligation for us to give to the poor, the needy. I think this is from the Prophet Muhammad SAW, peace be upon him. One of the hadiths said that the believer's shade on the day of resurrection will be his charity. So one of the shade that can protect us from the hellfire or during the judgment day from the heat, right? Because the sun only about 1 mile from our head, so how hot it is could be, right? But the believers will be protected under through the shade because of their charity. So yes, that's all from me. This is what the Islamic banking Islamic banking institutions around the world have done. They distributed the zakah, building the water resources for people who are in need, right? They distribute the food, right, to help the needy in the affected areas, such as in the civil war, right, in the Middle East, in Africa, and also the countries who have been affected by the natural disasters. And Australia is facing the condition as well today with the flood. All right, thank you very much to all of you. If you have any opportunity to come to Adelaide, jalan-jalan ke Adelaide, mari kita jalan-jalan ke Adelaide. There's a video about the Adelaide city you can also watch. All right, thank you for having me.
Right, thank you very much for your sharing good knowledge. And then, before I share the time for the audience to give a question, that a key point for this material that I will share in Indonesia. Target dari materi ini adalah bahwa Islamic banking itu menjamin bahwa semua wanita dan laki-laki itu untuk memperoleh kesempatan untuk memperoleh pendidikan yang selayaknya, ya. Kemudian poin yang kedua adalah bahwa antara laki-laki dan perempuan pun punya kesempatan untuk memperoleh pendidikan dan pekerjaan yang sesuai dengan pendidikan mereka. Kemudian tidak ada perbedaan juga bahwa antara gender laki-laki maupun perempuan untuk memperoleh pendidikan, kemudian pekerjaan yang layak, dan tentunya Islamic banking juga menjamin mengurangi kemiskinan. Now, I give a chance for the floor for two questions, and two from the Zoom. From the Zoom, please raise your hand when you would like to take or would like to hack opportunity to give a question. Times for yours. That for the students, maybe you have a question, you can come here in front of here, standing here, and give your question. Yes, I invite for you to standing here.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Thank you for the time. My name is Ivana Nadiawali. I am from Saraya Bank Department. As a student from Saraya Bank Department, what should we do about sustainable development goals? Or what is our role towards sustainable development? Thank you.
Okay, thank you. While realizing the two, right. I give a chance for Mujahideen. Mujahideen, please would like to open your camera. Yes. Thank you, Firas. Times for yours. Animut, your voice we have didn't see. I can hear here. Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you. It's because the okay. Thank you very much. Thank you for the great opportunity. Thank you for the Faisal presentation. Yeah, Pak Faisal is my my friends in here in Adelaide, South Australia. Yeah, to be honest, I have the two questions. But before I deliver my question, I just want to disclaimer that I'm not from the business background. I'm from the philosophy background, so maybe my question is a little sounds silly, but yeah, my first question is about. I just wondering about. Do you think there is like a significant difference between, as you know, the secular education system in Australia, for example, and Islamic education system of overall? Because you know the secular system separated between the religious value and the Islamic education system are very emphasizing on the value. So the do you think that there is a significant difference and impact on the how to setting up the education system? The second one is my 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 basic knowledge about industry. Industry is tends to be accumulate the profit, and profit. So how to get a profit too much? Is it to proliferate it or to multiply exploitation about the natural and whatever is. So, and in other hands, the Islamic value should, as mentioned in your presentation, that should be should be not exploited the natural. So how to reconcile the profit, the too much profit, and considering the environmental effect. Yeah, thank you. Just all. Thank you very much. Sorry if my question is a little bit silly question, because as mentioned before, I'm not from the business. I'm from the philosophy. Just thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Right. Let I give a chance for Mr. Faisal to answer all the questions. That the question first from Ivana, it is from Islamic Bank Department, and the second question from Mujahidin Muja. And then this time that attending this our Zoom is Mrs. Krishna Vijay. Good morning, ma'am. Right. So I give maybe for you for 5 minutes to answer all the questions. Times is for yours.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for the moderator. Do you mind to say again the question from the students? I didn't really get that one. I apologize for that. If you can tell me what was the question from the students? What was the question from the students, Ibu moderator? Can you tell me again the questions?
Yes. I will replicate. He said that as a student, he's from Syariah Bank Department. What should we do about sustainable development goals, or what is their rule towards sustainable development? Just it.
Well, that's a very good question, and I think I'll better combine with Bapak Mujahiduddin questions. As he said that Mujahiduddin also is currently residing in Adelaide. He's a Flinders alumni. He got his PhD from the Humanity and Social Science College. So he got his PhD. So he's very expert in philosophy. And he gave me very difficult questions. Same with the student from IAIN, Sultan Amai. But I'll try my best to answer that. The first one is, how do we see or how do we fill the gap between the Islamic education system and the secular system? I know that a lot of friends who came here in Australia and sent their kids to school, primary, secondary, or even some universities, if they can afford to, they said that the Western education system is very, very, very good in terms of the quality and very interesting and easy to adopt with. They can express their ideas freely without worrying too much about the values or concept. And they can also say that in Western society, especially in the secular education system, the kids are not taught for religious things or stuff like that, but they also been taught about the moral values. For example, the kids are learning how to respect other kids while they're at school. They line up, for example, if they want to buy something, right? They were trained to be disciplined person, wake up in the morning, right? Go to school, etc. Do their homework on time. And I think that's great. That's great. Well, Islamic education, on the other hand, should also cope with that one. And I think Islamic education is more comprehensive because it doesn't just teach about the world and its content, but also for our sustainable in the future after we live on Earth. If you know what I'm saying, what I'm saying here is that Islam education system teach our students to be prepared for everything. The problem is, and don't get me wrong, this is from my opinion only. The problem is maybe it's more like the individual who involved in that activity. For example, the educators, if do not fully understand the concept of an Islamic education system, and they teach the students at school, that might have an impact in the student's life, right? So if we know our role as a Muslims, we know our role as a teachers in Islamic education system, I think we should not confront between the Islamic education system and the secular system, because I think in some ways both institutions have the same goals to create or to produce a better outcome, especially from the students' point of view. We all want our students' success in their role as a students and they're moving forward. And the second question, I think that's a great question. We need more time. Unfortunately, we don't have much time. I know Krista is waiting at the moment. She's also my colleague here in Adelaide. What Mu just said, how can we see the relevance between the companies whose goal is to make a profit, right, to maximize the shareholders' wealth, and at the same time they are encouraged to look after the environment? I think what I can say, this is the role of the Islamic banking. I think what I can say is, because a lot of the business entities right now around the world are connected with the interest-based system. I'm narrowing my conversation to interest-based system, is meaning that the conventional banking, not in Islamic banking. Then I think they are forced to maximize their capacity, their production, right? In order to gain as much as possible the profit. So in that sense, we can see that, for example, company that produce furniture, they rely much on the company that exploit the forest, right? By cutting the trees and process that trees into wood and send it to this manufacturer to produce a finished good as a furniture. So the company that cut the forest, they'll cut as much as possible they want, because they seeking that profit oriented, right? That's because of they have to pay the interest back to the lenders, the banks in this case, right? And if they don't do that, then the bank will compound the interest, so put more burden on that. And the other things, because of that, the cost of living increase, the workers demand higher wages, they have to meet that as well. So it's a complicated issues. And that's what happened to our planet, because it's been exploited too much. In Islam, I remember one of the wonderful statement from the first Khalifa after the pass of our beloved Prophet Muhammad SAW, peace be upon him. Sayyidina Abu Bakr said that, take what we need, don't follow your wants. So I always teach my students here in Australia that we need to understand the difference between needs and wants. They are two different things. If we have 2 pairs of shoes, for example, right? And there is a marketing ad saying that these Nike shoes, blah, 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 wonderful, right? We need to ask ourselves, do I need that shoes, the third one, right? Do I need the third pair of shoes? I already have 2, and I only use one of them much. I don't use the other one as that much from the other one. So we need to ask ourselves if we need that, right? Because if we just following our wants, that's happening, and that's the same happen in industry. They keep producing things, and sometimes their productions are not sold in the market and become abundant, and that's a waste. That's a waste. So no wonder you see a lot of our lands are filled up with the rubbish because of people don't consume that, right? Unfortunate. It's all that's cost, because they produce with the cost. They have to think about the cost labor, the machine labors, and the interest they have to pay. But at the end of the day, the products were not sold, and that's a waste. to our environment and also to the industries. And I think we can discuss that further if anyone interested to talk about it. I think this is the role of Islamic banking, because Islamic banking doesn't charge interest. So, and it's also Islamic banking only support business that comply with the Islamic principles, which is, that's what we have to look at in that pathway in order to protect the environments and preserve the nature as well for our future generations. And I think that reflects to students' first questions, how to achieve the sustainable goals if we all understand our part as an individual. So we have to think globally, right? We have to think what's going on on the planet at the moment. If we think that way clearly, right, then we need to act locally. For example, if you go to shopping, you carry your bags, a plastic bag, try to reuse their plastic bags, right? Don't buy another one. So imagine that if there are half of the population on the planet, 3 billion, for example, do the same way, then we already reduce that amount of plastics per day. That's a huge step, right? And start local, or start now. I mean, act local and start small, like what I just gave the example. I think that's from me. I thank you so much to the committee. Also my honor to the rector of IAIN Sultan Amai Gorontalo and the Vice Dean of the Faculty of Islamic, Economic and Business, IAIN Sultan Amai.
Okay, thank you very much for that you have sharing knowledge about Islamic banking and sustainable development goals. Hopefully, we will meet again for the next session, Mr. Faisal Abdullah, PhD.
Inshallah, thank you for having me.
All right.
Bye for now.
Ladies and gentlemen, we will move for the second speaker. Here, that attend in this tube, there's Christina Filjun, PhD, that from University of South Australia. Before she will share about his knowledge, we will listen about her profile. Christina Filjun has more than 40 years of experience as a lecturer and coordinator in Australia and South of Africa. She also worked in UK and he worked in corporate sector before transitioning to tertiary education. She has a lecture course including accounting, managerial finance, management accounting, and property investment. She also managerial finance, management accounting, and property investment. She qualified chartered accountant and a member of CAANZ and SAICA. She also too currently busy with her PhD now with focus on financial planning for older women in Australia. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we will come to the material about the role of green accounting in realizing sustainable development. Thanks for joining us.
Selamat siang. Good afternoon, everyone.
Selamat siang.
Can I just
for a hand for that you can speak in Indonesia.
Hello, yes. Can you see my screen? Is it sharing at the moment?
Actually, this here, there's some student and some lecturer from Indonesia. Maybe you can take a 50 Indonesia, maybe, but that I can translate for them your material. But you can speak in Indonesia. You can all the English language.
All good, thank you. Can I just maybe check, can you see my screen at the moment?
Yeah.
Am I sharing my screen?
Yeah.
Okay, excellent. So welcome everyone and thank you so much for the opportunity to present here today.
But would you like to hike that you can, it's not clear your voice?
Is it not clear? Okay, let's have a look. Is that a bit better?
Maybe the committee you can rise.
Can you hear me a bit better now?
Okay.
Is the sound all right?
For all, hello, whole audience, maybe you can hear her voice.
Okay.
Yes, it is clear, ma'am.
Is
You
that
can
clear?
start now. Yes, it is better now.
Is it better? Okay, excellent. So thank you so much for having me today to talk about in business within the framework of the sustainable development goals. And thank you for that very kind introduction as well. So I see myself here. So if I look into different directions, it's just, I'm going to drag this across and I can actually address you later. Let's just have a look. Okay, so we are going to just a bit about myself. So thank you. You've done a very good introduction of my background. And then just a bit about yourself. So I see there's quite a lot of you here today. So it's amazing. I can see we've got 147 participants, which is excellent. And then a bit about my presentation for today. So I thought to have a bit of an overview of where we are at the moment as far as sustainability reporting is concerned. Also, where is sustainability in Australia? Where are we with that at the moment? I've also done a bit of research on sustainability reporting in Indonesia, and then also global developments at the moment. So let's just see, I just need to go to the next slide. So just to start off, I've included some definitions here, which obviously you will all be really familiar with. And some of these you will see is quite from some time ago. And I think the important thing and why I included this is to show that sustainability and environmental accounting is not something new. It's something that has been with us for a long time. And we are in the process of, improving as we go along. And like Faisal said, I think for me, the most important thing about sustainability is it's a global issue, but it's also an individual issue, and how each of us need to think about what difference can we make on an individual basis, and then make a difference within our community, make a difference as a country, and in that way make a difference on a global basis. But anyway, so if we have a look at green accounting, it focuses obviously on the environment, in collaboration with accounting, and then important there on a national as well as on a corporate level. So it entails businesses, it entails countries, so it's really all inclusive. So what is the purpose? The long-term sustainability of the limited resources that the earth has. To still meet our economic performance and to still be able to provide with what global needs are, but not to be wasteful, like Faisal also referred to earlier. And also importantly to focus on how, when we have those economic targets, how does it impact on the environment? Okay. So the key elements of sustainability is obviously how do we make use of the energy supplies that we have, considering that we also obviously have human needs and that the human population is increasing. How do we use energy in an efficient way and think about more sustainable ways of creating electricity and energy and to utilize that? Public health, so about the well-being of society and us as humans, and then also protection of the earth. So it all obviously includes ESG, so the environmental, social governance, but then really focusing on the people, planet, and the profit, and to how do they all work together, and what are the focus areas to make sure that our people are okay, the planet above all, and that we make sure that we manage it in a sustainable way, and that we still from an economic point of view move forward. Sustainable accounting, so the first bit really focuses on accounting. So when we do accounting, and you will know because we've got students and professors here from an accounting background, so accounting is all about how do we measure, how do we analyze, and how do we report it. So from an accounting point of view, how do we report on the social and the environmental impact that we have? Okay, so just briefly, so what are the Sustainable Development Goals? Based on the United Nations and what they've indicated those 17 goals are. So I'll quickly go through them again. This is something that you are probably familiar with, but I thought just as a quick recap again to discuss this. And I want you to, while we go through this, to think in the back of your mind, how does each of these, how does it impact on the planet, the people, and the profit? So no poverty, zero hunger, good health and well-being, quality education, gender equality, clean water and sanitation, then affordable and clean energy, decent work and economic growth, industry, innovation and infrastructure, reduced inequality, sustainable cities and communities, responsible consumption and production, climate action, life below water, life on land, peace, justice, and strong institutions, and then partnerships to reach these goals. So these are the 17 Sustainable Development Goals indicated by the United Nations. Okay. So if we have a look at sustainability reporting and also green accounting, what are some of the current issues that are on a global basis that we need to consider? So the first one is, at the moment, the fact that we don't have any universal standards on how companies should measure and report on sustainable performance. So again, we're in the process and there's a lot of developments in that space, so we will get to that later in the presentation. But the first one, like I say, the need to have a global set of universal standards on how sustainability should be measured and reported on. Then also that if we think about people, planet and profit, what is the link between our financial performance and our sustainability performance? How do we align those two to make sure that we take care of the earth and our natural resources that we have within the scope of also making sure that people do earn enough income to be able to eat and feed themselves and look after their families as well. In the last one, the next one is here, that international investments with international and global investment portfolios want us and want companies to provide high quality, transparent and reliable information so that they can go back to their shareholders and say, listen, this is what the companies are doing, and this is how they meet the sustainability performance targets. And maybe just from my own research, and like Fadil said, you know, I focus on the financial planning of older women, and I've had an interview with an older lady that said to me, you know what, when I meet with my financial advisor, I do not know a lot about finances, but I ask him to specifically prepare for me the companies that are sustainable, that are responsible in how they do business. And even though sometimes I have to accept a lower return, that's okay, because I want to make sure that what I leave behind when I go is sustainable for the generations after me. And I think we need to get more and more that as we go along. So then sustainability reporting in Australia at the moment. So at the moment, there's currently no legal requirements. However, companies are required to report on matters that might have a material impact on the share price and the value of the company. So obviously, if there's a sustainable or an environmental issue that could have a material impact, then that needs to be disclosed. And that's why I said here, there's certain obligations for companies to report on financial and non-financial information in certain areas, again, if it can have a material impact on the value of the company. With regards to these requirements, there are different views. If you speak to some people, they will say, yes, it's, you know, it meets the requirements. Companies are required to disclose those material issues. If you speak to other entities, other stakeholders, they will say, no, we definitely need more and increased disclosure on exactly whether a company meets certain sustainability targets. Currently, the Corporations Act 2001 determines what companies are required to disclose and what not. Like I said, there's certain recommendations underway. We'll talk a bit about in a minute what's happening on a global basis, and that will definitely also impact on what's happening in Australia. Okay. So within Australia, listed companies, they obviously have to disclose their annual reports. And so there are two ways in which listed companies from a sustainability point of view report information. So the first one is, like I said, continuous disclosure, where companies are required to disclose information that could have a material impact on the price of or the value of the firm. So again, if that slots within the sustainability area, then that is something that companies need to disclose. And then in the financial report, so that's obviously periodic disclosure, once a year or once every 6 months. Then what they need to report on is compliance with accounting standards. However, like we said, at the moment, no fixed sustainability standards, but that is underway. And like I said, no requirement that the environmental or social aspects have to be covered. However, and I've done some bit of research for us there, you will see that all the big companies and the listed companies in Australia, they do disclose their sustainability, the actions that they've taken. A lot of them have got separate sustainability reports that they prepare at the end of the financial year. So even though there's no separate requirements and standards at the moment, they do disclose some information, and we'll get to that in a minute. I've just included there for you at the bottom. And this information is included in sustainability reporting, the current legislative and market requirements, and I've included the link there for you as well. Okay. So Justin, this was quite interesting to me. If we do look at sustainability reporting and what is included in the annual reports by listed companies in Australia, who are the target audiences and who are the stakeholders that's most interested in what is reported by companies? So for me, it was quite interesting that 37% is employees. So obviously employees are also, because they're invested in the company, invested in their future, it's really important for them to see what companies are disclosing about their sustainability. Customers, and I think this links back to the older lady that I was speaking about, that are saying, and shareholders, the next one, where people are more and more saying, but I do not want to buy from a company that do not act in a sustainable and in a responsible way, either with the natural resources or with other human beings. So customers really invested, shareholders 74%. Then the local community, how does the sustainability practices impact on them? 67%. Institutional investors, so that's obviously larger investors. 54% suppliers, and 59% then analysts, who analyze what's happening in companies, and also who often make recommendations whether a share is a buy or not, a buy or a sell or hold, 51%, and then governments and NGOs, 28%, which that looks a bit on the low end, but again, so this was quite interesting. So the main stakeholders. Then I prepared this slide, and I want to spend some time just on talking you through this. So what I've done with this is I went back to the financial statements, annual reports that are available online for the biggest companies in Australia. And I took the 10 biggest companies based on market capitalization. And I've had a look, if we, over the past 10 years, what has happened with the sustainability reporting. And I had a look at how many times does the word sustainability or sustainable, how many times does that occur in those set of financials? And so you can have a look, and so where I couldn't find all the information, I've made a note for you. So if we have a look at BHP Billiton, which is obviously a big mining company, between 2012 and 2022, so an increase from 75 times that the word sustainability was included to 167 times, so 122% increase, so more than double, or almost, yeah, more than double over the past 10 years. Then the Rio Tinto Group, I couldn't find the information for 2012, but just between 2017 and 2021, an increase from 45 times to 264 times, so 486% increase over 5 years. So you can see a significant increase in the number of times that they refer to the sustainability in their annual financial reports. Commonwealth Bank, 2017 looks like a bit of an outlier, so I will need to do more research there, but just if we compare 2012, the city times to 139 times, so a 363% increase over 10 years, so again significant. CSL Limited couldn't find 2012, but between 2018, so really there for over 4 years, a 520%, again significant. Now, so from 40 to 83 times, and they actually, what was interesting with them is they included a separate sustainability data pack in Excel with different tabs, different worksheets, where you could have a look at all the different numbers and how they prepared their sustainability reports. Okay. So 107% increase there over 10 years. Westpac from 72 times to 194 times, and again, like I said, a separate sustainability report. So they deem it to be so important that they include it as a separate addition to their annual financial report. So 169% increase there. ANZ, also 220% increase. Macquarie Group, I didn't want to calculate the value there because that looks a bit like the 2022 numbers and even 2017, especially if we compare that to 2012, where they already included it 120 times. So I'll look at that in a bit more detail, but that's why I didn't want to include a number there. Then Fortescue Metals, again, they have a separate report, 23 times to 57 times, so 147% increase, and then Wesfarmers from 34 to 97. So I think the key takeaway for me from this is for all of these, for the 10 biggest companies in Australia, all of them over the past 10 years have more than doubled their reference to sustainability in their annual reports. So it's clearly a matter of significance, something that they understand that we have to focus on people, the planet, in addition to profit, and that it's not only about the finances, but also how that ties in with our people and the sustainability of how we do business to ensure that our planet and our natural resources, that we manage it in a sustainable way. So again, just two links there that I've included for you. So if you want to do some more reading, Chapter 6, I've already referred to Chapter 7, that provides you with a bit more information about the background of sustainability reporting in Australia at the moment. And then here I've included some information about sustainability reporting in Indonesia. You will probably have more in-depth information, but it just gave me a bit of an overview and more information about what's happening in that space. And also from what I could see here is companies are urged to provide more information. They do realize the importance of respecting sustainability requirements and dealing with finances, the planet, and our people in a sustainable and responsible way. Then on a global basis, so what is currently happening on a global basis, and in this space, again, there's a lot happening, and I think overall the different role players, both from a financial and a sustainable point of view, realize the importance to make sure that we get this right and that we have standards to ensure that companies on a consistent and comprehensible way report on their sustainability impact. So in June 2021, and so you will realize that all of this is kind of within the last 2 years, in the midst of coronavirus, all of these developments took place. So I think that also shows how important it is that even though we're in the middle of a global pandemic, that all these changes kept on happening because we realized from a sustainability point of view how important it is to action and take action as quickly as possible. So in June last year, the IIRC, so the International Integrated Reporting Council, merged, and SASB merged under the Value Reporting Foundation to synergize and simplify reporting. I think, again, to make it easier for stakeholders to be able to compare different companies with each other and to be able to say, are we meeting the requirements? Is the disclosure sufficient? But we need to have some standards to be able to measure that against. Then in November last year, so about a bit more than a year ago, the IFRS Foundation announced the creation of the new ISSB, so the International Sustainability Standards Board, and we'll talk a bit more about them shortly. And in March this year, the Value Reporting Foundation announced that they will consolidate under the IFRS Foundation to create this ISSB that we've just referred to now. So if we just have a look what happened since June last year. So first of all, like we said, the IRRC and SASB merged to form the Value Reporting Foundation, and then that Value Reporting Foundation and the IFRS Foundation then formed the new ISSB, the International Sustainability Standard Board. That happened in March this year. So what is the main aim and the main role of the ISSB? So their main aim is to deliver a comprehensive global, so obviously on a global basis, baseline of sustainability related disclosure standards. So we've got the accounting standards, we also need sustainability standards to provide investors and other capital market participants with information about companies' sustainable related risks and opportunity to help make informed decisions. So I think for me, the important thing here is, yes, we need to acknowledge that there are risks, and then how can we use that risk? What are the opportunities? How can we do business in a sustainable way to ensure that in the long run, we can keep running companies, and that might also create different business opportunities for different companies. And then the other thing that was really interesting when I started with the preparation for this presentation, in Frankfurt, yesterday and today, on the 15th and the 16th of November, the ISSB, and they are meeting, and the things that they are discussing in Frankfurt at the moment is a sustainability disclosure taxonomy. So also, what do we need to report? What's the feedback that we've had? What are the general requirements? What are the comparative information that we need to be included? And then today they are talking about climate-related disclosure, strategy and decision-making based on climate-related targets, and then also connected information, and then timing of reporting. So when are companies required to report on certain matters? Okay. And I think that is basically it from my end. So I think really what I wanted to do is just to provide you with an overview of what's happening on a global basis, what's happening in Australia, what are companies reporting in on Australia, what's happening going forward, and then a bit of background just about what's happening in Indonesia as well. Okay. Yes, so I will, I don't know if there's any questions, I'll hand back to you. I'll stop sharing my screen. I will make sure that these slides are available to you later if you would like to refer back to them. Okay, can you still all hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, excellent.
Okay, there are some writing wrong from ini, but I think this is the material I will given to you for the audience for the floor. Jadi teman-teman sekalian, bahwa key point yang diberikan oleh Ibu Christina Filzun ini adalah bahwa semua orang bisa mendapatkan keuntungan dalam green accounting ini, ya, yang berkaitan dengan laporan keuangan yang sehat. Dalam hal ini beliau sudah men-share kepada kita bahwa the rule, ya, aturan dalam menerapkan ini harusnya berkontribusi atau berkolaborasi dengan perusahaan dan bisnis-bisnis yang ada. Saat ini di Australia itu mereka sudah mengapply atau menerapkan aturan tentang green accounting ini, dan juga beliau misalnya bagaimana di negara-negara lainnya, apakah itu di negara Amerika. Nah, bagaimana mungkin dengan kita yang saat ini dengan yang ada di negara Indonesia, right? I will give a chance maybe for one student or one audience for the floor to give a question, and then you can come in front of here to give your question, and then one question from the Zoom that you can raise your hand. Okay. While we have waiting for the floor from the Zoom, I will invite from the floor here to come in front of the class that you have give a question. Ada teman-teman mahasiswa atau dosen yang akan memberikan pertanyaan, dipersilakan untuk berdiri di depan untuk menyampaikan pertanyaan yang akan disampaikan kepada Ibu Christina Wilson. Disilakan kepada, ya, Ibu Nurul. You can come in front of the class here or the floor. I know you can speak English, Bu Nurul.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My questions for
Christina Filzun.
Okay. If we study about economics, we will get to know about environmental Kuznets curve or kurva Kuznets. Yeah. It hypothesizes that if a developing countries like Indonesia or underdeveloped countries will more have environmental exploitation rather than developed countries. So when Indonesia is now developing countries, so do you think that such green accounting, green economics is work for us, for Indonesia, in the face of developing country? Thank you.
Okay, thank you. This is Nurul. Did I give a chance for you, Christina, to direct answering the question?
Can you hear me?
You can answer directly for Nurul question.
Okay, so as long as you can hear me, that's good. Yeah, so that's an excellent question. And I think that's why it's so important that we look at this from a global point of view. Because I completely agree with you that, and I think it's not a new issue. I think it's an issue that have been, with us for a long period of time, where developing countries are more exploited as far as this is concerned. I think what is good is that and with these hopefully these new standards that will come in place, it is more something that people being made aware of. stakeholders, shareholders, investors. And if we are aware of it, then we can make more informed decisions. So my take on it is that it will hopefully help to reduce the exploitation for developing countries, because shareholders, like this older lady that I was referring to now, if there are certain standards that companies have to adhere to, that things that they have to disclose, then the individual investor can make informed decisions. And once we start seeing that there's a trend of people going, I'm not going to invest in that country because they do not do business in a sustainable way. If companies start realizing, and don't get me wrong, there's a lot of companies that are already doing the right thing, but hopefully if that becomes a trend with more information being available, more people making the right decisions, and in the long run that will hopefully help to decrease the exploitation.
Right. That's a key point from the question that teman-teman sesungguhnya dia mempertanyakan apakah green accounting ini ya bisa berlaku di Indonesia karena melihat masalah-masalah pada saat ini. Right. Now, while we waiting from the Zoom, would like to raise hand. Wait. Because we don't have find some audience that give a raise hand, maybe from the floor. Yes, Mr. Honor or Mrs. Julia. Okay, Mr. Aaron, we can come in front now. There is the second question from Mr. Anwar.
Okay, thank you. My question is about how the companies still have opportunity to get profit, because as we know that to apply the green accounting is that some expense that companies should invest in their financial statement. I repeat, my question is about how the company still get the opportunity to get increased profit, because as I know that green accounting, to apply the green accounting, the company should invest some expense in the corporate. Thank you.
Thank you. It is clear for you, ma'am?
Excellent. So I'll answer the question, and if that's not exactly what you wanted to know, please feel free to ask again. So I think that's also a very good question. How will they still be able to make a profit if there's all these requirements and if they've got all these expenses? If we realize that all companies will now be in the same boat, then they all have to adhere to certain requirements. And I think, again, that's why these standards are so important, so that we make sure that all companies have to meet the same requirements. I think the other thing for companies to remember is that some aspects, some expenses might in the short run not be good to our bottom line and to our profit. However, in the long run, we do not have a choice. If we want to make sure that we can that we run business in a sustainable way for generations to come, there are certain expenses that we will need to have, that we will have to incur, and based on hopefully standards that we will have, at least all companies will have to meet those requirements. And if that does have a detrimental impact on profit in the short term, in the long term, if we're working towards a sustainable future, and in the long term making sure that we actually have more natural resources, then that's the more important thing. So rather just focusing on short-term gains, short-term profits, short-term returns to our investors, take the long view to ensure that we do it in a sustainable way, and that we make sure that this company will still be in business in 50 years' time, rather than just focusing on, are we making the largest amount of profit that we can. And again, I think investors more and more are saying, I realize that this company might have made a lower amount of profit, or that my return is a bit lower. But if I think about the long term, if I think about my children, if I think about my family, then that's in order. I'd rather invest my money in a company that is doing business in a sustainable and responsible way. Again, so it's not. It doesn't always have a positive impact on profit, but I think from a long-term value creation point of view, that's the most important thing for us to remember.
Okay, thank you first for that you have answered the question for. We have still 30 minutes that maybe you can give a key point before we have pausing for your material for the audience here. Maybe you can share how they in Indonesia can apply, like in Australia, to apply green accounting, that like you have said that. Okay, maybe you give a key point for that green accounting can apply here.
Sorry, so green accounting, how that can apply in Indonesia or in Australia?
Yeah, because all my audience in Indonesia, and they then not sure that the green accounting can apply in Indonesia. Maybe you can give some trick for us, because all here is the students and the lecture of Islamic banking and accounting banking. Actually, IAIN Sultan Amai Gorontalo have 4 departments, that management accounting department, Syariah department, economy department, and all the students would like to get the key point how apply it. Maybe they can apply it there when they have graduate from their study.
Yeah. The most important thing here is, if we think about green accounting in Indonesia, if we think about the International Accounting Standards Board, so if we think about more green accounting and we move away from the sustainability point and move to an accounting point of view and think about, so how do we classify an asset, a liability, equity, income and expense, and to then from a global point of view, and again think about the international standards to say, well, how do we, when we do green accounting, two things I want to say. The first one is, how do we apply that when we do our statement of profit or loss and our statement of financial position? But I think the other thing where green accounting is so important is, apart from the financial accounting aspect, the management accounting aspect for our internal users. 2 reasons, or a number of reasons again there. If we think about management accounting, where there is less, where there aren't really any strict rules and regulations, when we do a cash flow forecast or where we do a budget, and it's for our internal purposes within the business, green accounting is really important there, because that is where, and also to come back to the previous question of how do we make sure that we still make a profit, even though, there's certain environmental expenses that we have. I think that in management accounting really becomes important for us to do our forecast and to have a look at what do we have available, what is our income streams, what are our expenses, what is the impact of that on our profit and loss going forward, forecast for the next 5, 10, 20 years, short term, medium term, long term. And also on our balance sheets. And I think to rethink what are the opportunities that green accounting creates for us, not just as far as the accounting is concerned, but in terms of how we run our business. And so if we can think about what are the opportunities, something like, for instance, what Faisal said, with making sure that when you go to a shop, you don't buy a plastic bag. What's the impact of that on our financial statements over time? How much money are we saving by not having to buy those bags as a company? What are the other things? Fuel efficiency. how can we make sure that, you know, maybe, I don't know if you can also order online from supermarkets in Indonesia at the moment. You know, that's big in Australia. People order online and they get their groceries delivered. That's, you know, from an environmental point of view, it's good because as individuals, we save on fuel, which is from an environmental point of view, that's good. For companies, that's good as well because they provide a service and they can maybe just do one trip and deliver to 10 different people. So also to think about how can we think about business opportunities that will increase our income, make life easier for our customers, and also from a green accounting and a sustainability point of view, provide value. Now, that management accounting aspect, which is internal, and for us to determine what our strategy will be over the next 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, short term, medium term, and long term, that will then feed into our external reporting, which is more financial accounting related, which is then how do we report that in our income statement, balance sheet, statement of profit and loss, and how do we reflect that when we then report to shareholders and investors. So I think from my end, it's basically green accounting, sustainability accounting is something that we have to think about every day when we run our businesses. When we think about what are we going to do tomorrow, how can we run our business in a more streamlined way from an economic point of view, but that's also environmentally friendly, and as far as, and that will then slot into the green accounting. So I think my other thing here is we need to, and I said it right at the start, but think about it from me as an individual, as an accountant working for a company. What are the strategies that I can think of in my role? What's the difference that I can make in the business where I work? What difference can that business make in the economy, the community where I live, in my neighborhood, then in the city where I live, then in the country, and then on a global basis? Because if we each of us, and each of the businesses that we work at, if we can just make a small difference there, it will make it will have a flow-on effect from a sustainability point of view, and also from a green accounting point of view, because you can't really remove green accounting from sustainability. The two, you know, if we do business in a more sustainable way, that will have an impact on our financial statements as well. I don't know if that answers the question.
Okay, that is key point. Actually, buat teman-teman yang saat ini di secara offline, sesungguhnya beliau menegaskan bahwa keuntungan itu harus diperhitungkan, jangan sampai keuntungan yang ada dan pemasukan yang ada itu harusnya dia sustainable, ya, dia mestinya dia bisa balance. Dan sesungguhnya kita di Indonesia, khususnya yang menerapkan Islamic banking, tentunya ada semacam rule, aturan yang bagaimana caranya profit atau keuntungan itu bisa dibagi, tentunya secara konvensional dan syariah itu sangat berbeda. Next, while we have we have a person that in the Jew would like to give a question. Just give a chance for opportunities for one audience here. Faisal Abdullah, would you like to open your camera? You can hear my voice? I'm sorry?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
We will make the game.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I'm currently teaching my students as well online. So I'll give him a little bit a break. So first of all, I'd like to thank Christina, my colleagues, I think what Christina presenting to us, that's an invaluable topic for everyone. Green accounting is very, very useful for our colleagues in Indonesia, particularly the accounting professions, the accountants, the lecturers, right, and the students as well. Bear in mind that recently, in the last 1 decade, people not just focusing on the green accounting or green banking or something like that, but there's a new terminology which is called blue accounting. If you have heard about blue accounting, that's different from green accounting. Green accounting is more focused on the reducing the gas emission or carbon dioxide, while blue accounting is more focused on the marine ecosystem, how to preserve the assets under the water, because 2/3 of the our planet belongs to the ocean. So I just want to add information to everyone in IAIN Sultan Amai Gorontalo to have a look, particularly the accounting students or the lecturers. Perhaps you're interested to search more information about the blue accounting, because it's a new term in accounting profession, and it's growing rapidly along with the green accounting. And what Christina said regarding the sustainability, yes, it's absolutely in line with the green accounting goals, because green accounting, the purpose of that is to ensure that our future generations have enough natural resources to cope with their situation in the future, because their challenges in the future are far difficult in some ways, and maybe interesting as well at the same time. Yeah, that's all I can say.
Before that, I said to thanks for Faisal that Mrs. Christina Gulzian, are you here now?
Sorry, let me just unmute myself. Hello, sorry, yes, yes.
Yes. Just your voice here that you can see your face, but I think it is clear for all the question for Faisal that maybe it is the same question for my student. All have hope with your knowledge here. Hello, Mrs. Christina.
Hello. Sorry, can you just I think I missed that question. The sound broke up a bit. Can you just repeat that again, please? Yeah, if you can just repeat that last bit, the sound broke up a bit, and I'm not sure if you can hear me now.
Mr. Faisal, that it is not clear because this, they has less for your key point, your question.
No, I'm not asking questions. I'm just adding up to the topic that Christina just shared to all of us. I think that's important, because seems like our colleagues in IAIN Sultan Amai are very interested to learn more about green accounting. So what I just said is there's another term that they might be interested in, which is blue accounting, because blue accounting is relatively new, but has a lot of opportunity for us in the accounting profession. I myself as an accountant, jadi saya juga sebagai seorang akuntan, pernah bekerja di bank, terus di perusahaan akuntan di Australia, di Adelaide, dan sekarang menjadi dosen. So blue accounting is a very promising area. So because I recently presented the topic as well in another international conference. The reason I was saying that on that event, because a lot of accountants at the moment, they worry about their future, since the artificial intelligence and machine learnings are taking place in many accounting profession at the moment. So we don't need to worry too much about it, basically, because machine is machine. Artificial intelligence without humans, they're meaningless. They're nothing. So they still need the interaction of human. And as an accountant, our role basically is not more on the technical issues anymore, technical aspects like recording the transactions, put it into journal, debit and credit, right? And then prepare the balance sheet, income statement, or cash flow statement. But more than that, we move to the from that point of view to analysis role. So yes, AI and machine learning can't do it. Only human accountants can do the analysis. So we need to give a better better information to decision makers before they make a decision to the external parties in particular. So, jadi Ibu, ini bukan pertanyaan tetapi sekedar tambahan kepada please Christina, if you don't mind, I use my bahasa Indonesia ya to the audience. Ini sekedar sharing pengetahuan sedikit kepada teman-teman kolega dosen di Fakultas Ekonomi dan Bisnis Islam IAIN Sultan Amai Gorontalo tentang ilmu baru yang namanya Blue Accounting, akuntansi biru yang baru saja kurang lebih 7 tahun ada ya di muka bumi ini. Yang pertama kali diperkenalkan oleh Great Lake Commission di Amerika sana. Jadi ini peluang buat semua teman-teman dosen akuntansi, profesi akuntan dan juga mahasiswa adik-adik yang saya hormati ya, jurusan bisnis atau akuntansi untuk menangkap peluang ini, karena kita tahu bahwa laut meliputi 2/3 dari wilayah bumi yang kita tempati. Jadi peluang di sana sangat besar yang belum banyak digali oleh manusia. Bagaimana mengukur aset, bagaimana mengukur liabilities, bagaimana mengukur equity di dalam laut itu masih sangat banyak tidak diketahui oleh manusia. Jadi itu peluang buat kita untuk mengeksplorasi daerah tersebut dan tentunya berdampak juga kepada ekonomi, because ocean has a future benefit economy, so we need to maximize that in a sustainable way, like Christina said. So not just on the land when we talk about green accounting, but also in the ocean. Saya kira itu Ibu. Terima kasih.
Terima kasih. Christina, that actually we have till 15 minutes here. Jadi teman-teman sekalian, that it is opportunities for you that you can get research, yeah, research about this. This is a new view for you that you can get. For that, firstly you must get the knowledge about that, and then you can take for the result of that. Jadi teman-teman, ini bisa peluang juga untuk penelitian baik seorang dosen, teman-teman mahasiswa. Tentunya ini menjadi fenomena yang baru dan ini menjadi syarat awal buat teman-teman untuk bisa memberikan peluang sehingga tulisannya bisa lebih up to date. Right. That before we have entered to the next section, that I give a big thanks for Christina Fulsun that you have shared knowledge about that, and then for your knowledge, that your support, your treat, that for all the audience here, I give a thanks for you that you have attended in this event. And then we will break for 30 minutes. That until we're 30, no. Yeah, give a rest for you that we will meet again for this third presentation. Professor Iwan Tiwono PhD will join with us for 1 hour again. All right, thank you very much for Christina. We will meet again, hopefully for the other section. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your time and thank you for having me. Take
Okay.
care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay. Saat ini kita akan take a break buat teman-teman yang ada di Zoom dan yang ada offline saat ini. Kita akan bertemu kembali pada pukul 1 siang dengan materi ketiga Bapak Profesor Iwan Triyono PhD dan akan kita break out. Prof. Iwan?
Yes, I am here.
Oh yeah. I'm sorry that for audience because there is no break here that Prof. Iwan would you like to share this time. So that we will be continue the material about the role of green accounting in realizing sustainable development in Indonesia. Teman-teman, tentunya ini materi yang sangat ditunggu-tunggu. Kalau tadi baru di-share bagaimana apply di Australia dan Prof. Iwan Triyono akan men-share about it. But before I give a chance for Prof. Iwan, I would like to read about his CV. Right. Prof. Iwan Triyono PhD, this is the first pioneer for the birth and development of Islamic accounting discard in Indonesia. It is since first exposed by Republika Daily 1996. In addition, he also known as a figure with pioneer and birth and development of multi-paradigm accounting in Indonesia in 20. Actually, he is a founded in Indonesian multi-paradigm accounting society that is said MAMI, which until now he served as chairman of MAMI, president. Then in 2010, until now he has served as editor of chief of multi-paradigm accounting journal, or said is JAMAL. In this time, he is a secretary Senate Universitas Brawijaya, and then till now too, he is a member of board of trustees of University Brawijaya, and the last the chairman of audit commission of the board of trustees of Brawijaya University. He has written for many books. Here he said there are 10 books. Jadi tentunya beliau adalah pelopor, ya, pelopor dari the Board of Development, ya. Jadi yang ini sudah diekspos di Republika pada tahun 1996. Saat ini beliau sebagai dosen di Universitas Brawijaya. Banyak sekali karya-karya beliau. This is as a speaker in international or national seminar. Saat ini beliau sudah menulis dan sudah sebanyak 3.451 Google Scholar beliau, dan itu adalah hasil citasinya beliau. Kemudian memiliki high index sebesar 29 dengan research gate score-nya itu 19,56 dengan Sinta score-nya 11,68. satu from for ya that until 2000 Maret 2022. Right. I give a chance for Professor Iwan Triyuno PhD to share your knowledge about the role of green accounting in realizing sustainability development in Indonesia. Time for yours.
Okay, okay. Thank you very much, Ibu Asna, for the opportunity and for the time that given to me. And actually, I try to give something that actually very normative and very conceptual. This is maybe very different with Miss Christina that has presented a few minutes ago. Okay, it is also about green accounting, yeah, but not only for the green accounting, but it is also about human and divine accounting for realizing sustainable business. I'm sorry, can you hear my voice?
Yes, sir, it is clear here.
Okay, okay, thank you very much. So, as we know, the accounting actually is an instrument, yeah, that utilized in business as a language of business. Yeah. Without the accounting, maybe the business have a difficulty how to run the business. Even though the instrument is not only the accounting, but many other instruments that can be utilized for running a business. Yeah, it is traditionally accounting is accounting provides financial information, especially for the interest of shareholders. So if we see the financial statement, the construction of financial statement actually is based on the interest of shareholders, the owner of the company. Say, for example, the main information for shareholders is how much profit that is achieved or got from the business, yeah, and how much profit that can be given to the owner. This is actually the interest of shareholders or capitalists to invest their money to the company. But of course, we can see the accounting not only as an instrument how to give financial information to shareholders or stakeholders for making economic decision, but also we try to have another mind, yeah, or idea that maybe we can make our condition, our civilization much better, because we know that by concentrating on the profit, we have experienced that our earth experience destruction. Yeah, that we call it as a single bottom line. Yeah? So if we only concentrate on the profit, achieving profit in maximum way, then the negative effect is that there is a destruction on earth. So, for example, exploitation of natural resources, pollution, yeah, destruction on ozone layer, on plantation, or deforesting, and also there is illegal logging in Indonesia. All of those make our earth have the damage. Yeah, it's not good for our future life. And also, if we concentrate on profit, then there is also exploitation. on human being. Yeah, the relation of human between one human, yeah, one person to another, maybe it's not good in the real life relation of human being. So, for example, company gave or paid labor by very low wages or something like that. In short, actually, by concentrating on profit, that we call it the single bottom line, we experience some negative effect. It's not good for our life as human being, and also it's not good for our earth, because we live in our earth, so we have also maintain the health of our earth. And based on this reason, maybe we can say that Elkington suggests a new idea. It's about a triple bottom line. Yeah, I think this is very good concept or idea how we have to change our mind. Yeah, yeah, how we change the mind, classical mind, to get only profit. Yeah, but by the concept of Elkington, we see that our business should also concern with how the company get profit, but also we still maintain the health of our earth and also the wealth of people. So our concentration now is not only for the profit, but also how we maintain the wealth of planet and people. And of course, actually, company, planet and people are in unity. If we make a destruction of one of them, then the effect is may result in damage and unbalance on another element. So, for example, if we make a damage on our planet, then the effect is maybe we can say that the profit of the company will be decreased, and the health of people also will decrease. This is also not good for our life. And also, getting profit for modern business is actually a common goal. Yeah? And even it is myth, something that we need not to question whether the goal is true or false, or whether the goal is wrong or right. Until now, most of company only concern of how to get money, how to get profit, in maximum level. Even it is said that the only social responsibility for a company is to get profit. This is the opinion of the Milton Friedman, who said that if the company can get a very high profit, then it is actually the social responsibility of the company, because by high profit, actually company can expand its business and also can absorb labor from any community. This is the reason for Milton Friedman, why he said that the only social responsibility for a company is to get profit. Profit can be gained friendly if the ways to gain them consider the interest of other stakeholders. Say, for example, the law of nature and the law of human beings. So it is okay. The company still have the goal to get profit, but how they manufacture raw material from natural resources should consider the law of the nature itself. I mean, by understanding and considering the law of nature, then the sustainability of the nature will be maintained. This is very important. And also, the company should also consider the law of human life. Yeah, actually we have culture. Any community over the world, yeah, have culture. Actually, this is the way of life of the community. We have to understand the culture, and also we have to understand the social life of the community. So if the company exists in the community, then the company will run the business in accordance with the social life of the community, and the culture of community, and also in accordance with the natural law, the law of the nature. And under the triple bottom line, actually contains information related to profit, planet, and people that direct decision makers to put their concern on them. So this is very different. If we serve information, financial information, about profit, then of course we direct the decision makers to behave how they do an action, to get profit only. But if we concern on three elements here, profit, planet, and people, then this will direct the mind and the action of decision makers or stakeholders to concern also to the profit, planet, and people. Accounting, of course, has an important role in directing and the behavior of decision makers and stakeholders. Yeah. But the question is, to which direction should the behavior of the decision makers or stakeholders be directed? Do we still direct them to getting money only, or we should direct them to a better behavior that consider, that give concern on the company, planet, and people. And I have another idea about the sustainability, especially concerning the business. I call it Takwa Pentacle bottom line. It is actually the way to deconstruct the triple bottom line of Elkington. Actually, the concept of Elkington is very good, but for me or for us, for Indonesian people, for example, and also for nation or community that their life is based on the faith on God, then the concept of Elkington is not enough. That's why I have here a pentacle bottom line by adding two elements. That is profit and God. So we have here 5 elements: profit, planet, people, profit, and God. Sustainable business is the one that is done to prosper the world of corporation by using profit, or we use also value added. Also, it will prosper the world of people, of planets, by utilizing a prophetic ways, to get the pleasure of God. So this is maybe the difference with other concept, that we use the ways of prophet, Prophet Nabi Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, that guarantee that the way of doing or running the business is according with the will of God. And running business is not for getting profit, but the ultimate goal of the business is actually to get the pleasure of God. So that's okay. Yeah, we try to get profit. Yeah, in the world of planet and people, but it is the mid goal. Yeah, and the ultimate goal is to get the pleasure of God or taqwa. Taqwa means that we surrender, yeah, to the will of God. Yeah, and of course by using prophetic ways. The concept of taqwa pentaple bottom line is actually constructed this philosophy of Elvira. Elvira is it stands for Inna Lillahi wa Inna Ilaihi Raji'un, which means we belong to God and to Him we shall return. So in constructing knowledge, any knowledge or science, in Islamic perspective, we try to base on this philosophy. It is an ayah of verse in Al-Quran that says that everything actually belongs to God, and to Him everything will return. By using this philosophy, consequently, the construction of science starts from and is practiced in a way of and ends with God. So we start from God, yeah, and we practice the concept, yeah, according to the way of God, yeah, that we call it prophetic ways or Sharia ways, yeah, and also the end is the God Himself, yeah. The ultimate goal is to get the pleasure of God. Starting from God means the construction of accounting. Business science start from Al-Quran, the Holy Book, yeah, Hadith or Sunnah, and analogy or qiyas, yeah, and also consensus. This is ijma among ulama or Islamic scholar. And also we can use modern science, yeah, as long as it is accordant with Tawhid. And as a sources of knowledge by using religious rational mind. This is also a different thing, yeah, how we construct knowledge or concept or idea or model of business, yeah, in the Islamic perspective. Yeah. Not only we use Al-Quran as reference, but also the way of thinking. We also have to comply with the Al-Quran and Hadith, that we call it religious rational mind. So actually, religious rational mind is the one, yeah, that makes Al-Quran as the main and the best reference to derive any concept of business and accounting rationally. Or another alternative, yeah, we can use defined rational mind. Yeah. This defined rational mind is a mind that firstly connect our pure soul to our spirit. Yeah. Our spirit is actually God's spot, yeah, within us, yeah, within ourselves, to get inspiration. Yeah. Then secondly, after we get the inspiration, we can use the inspiration as a basis for accounting and business science construction through rational mind. Yeah, they also connect to the God's path. So actually, in this way of thinking, yeah, define rational mind, we have to connect ourselves to God's path. Yeah, our God within us. Yeah, this is very important to get inspiration. Yeah, to know, yeah, how the will of God, yeah, sent to us. That is through inspiration. And after we get the inspiration, yeah, we can use it as a basis by using a rational mind. Yeah. It's also connected to the God spot to make a model or idea or concept or whatever. That next time we can practice it, yeah, implement it in our daily life. Practicing accounting or business science is also this religious rational mind or divine rational mind. So I mean here that by using religious rational mind and divine rational mind, not only for constructing the knowledge, yeah, the concept, the model, but also in practicing the model, yeah, we have to use our religious mind. Or the better one is we use divine rational mind. And then ending, the goal of the practice of accounting in business is also based on the religious rational mind and divine rational mind. This is the figure of Takwa pentacle bottom line. Yeah, this is the first one is philosophy of Elvira, and then the mid goal is the words, yeah, how to foster, yeah, the words of company, yeah, that we measure by profit, yeah, or we can measure it by using a value added concept, yeah, and also the words of planet and the world of people. And the ultimate goal is to get the pleasure of God, to get the highest reach of the noblest level of human being according to Islam is taqwa. And of course, we do it, yeah, by using prophetic ways that we call it Sharia. Figure 2, this is Taqwa Pentacle bottom line construction, yeah, the philosophy of Elvira. Then we use Al-Quran, Hadith, or Sunnah, analogy, consensus, and modern knowledge. Yeah, and then we have the model of Taqwa Pentacle bottom line. And we use religious rational mind, or we use divine rational mind. Natural social defined law, the script defined law. Business will be sustainable when it is practiced based on the natural social defined law and script defined law. Yeah. Natural social defined law is the law which is in action in our nature, in society. They are basically defined law. It is the real law. The script defined law is the law written in the Holy Book. What I mean here is Al-Quran, yeah, that basically inform and describing the work of the first law. That is natural, social, and divine law. And both natural, social divine law and script divine law are never conflicting. They are the same, yeah. And if there is a conflicting, then there may be something wrong with our perception or our mind. But basically, they are conflicting. The first law, I mean here, the natural social law can be utilized as real capital. While the second law, how to operate the first law. So, knowledge. So, the capital and capital, natural, social, capital, then after that we have digitalized information of it, trainer and people, prosperity of company, trainer, to awake human defined consciousness. Human defined consciousness is digitalized in Mr. Faisal different, yeah, different the term of green and blue. Yeah, think yeah, okay, we can use it. Maybe can find another term that may include the understanding of green and maybe we can use human. For a while we can. So this is the figure price in first and from it, yeah, you can derive and formulate theory about digitalized clean human defined conflict. And after that, yeah, it is the standard of the digitalized conflict. And after that, practice of digitalized clean human defined conflict. And of course, what is the role of ISP? First role is first to serve information, profit, or create planet, people, create first and information about commit on the implementation of base because the compliance of the Sari base experience ensure the business have done in the right way. And then the second goal is subsidize and also to guarantee the sustainable business, then directing the behavior of stakeholders, nature and human friendly. As I said before, that accounting is not only numbers, symbols, of meaning, the direct behavior, set of direction. And also the main goal by utilize the to awake define systems stakeholders because system work okay, so, but it's very important to digitize. Then this is the expectation statement: digitalized green, human defined accounting, profit loss statement, value added statement. Then after that we have planet welfare statement. Is reporting about planet. Then we have people welfare statement and profit equation statement. Then so that we have in human defined consciousness statement. I think the statement full of the symbol and cause full of meaning. It may guide and direct the behavior of stakeholders to be company, nature, and human friendly. Of course, peace, harmony, and wealth then to be taught. That's all I think my presentation. Thank you very much.
Right, thank you very much for Professor Iwan. That I invite for the audience, maybe from the Zoom. Okay.
I think this is Brother Rahman Budianto. Maybe will ask a question.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you.
Rahma, there she's raised her hand. Rahman Budianto. It is from Department Accounting.
Yes.
Transfer yours.
Okay, thank you for the opportunity. My name is Rahman Budianto. I'm from Syariah Accounting Department. So I interest to ask about effect of the single bottom line. So my question is, could you explain to us why the single bottom line will exploitation of human being? Thank you.
I'm sorry for the last sentence. Can you repeat for the last sentence? Why?
Could you explain to us about effect of the single bottom line will explosion of human being?
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I think this is actually opinion, but it is actually the fact that the negative effect of concentrating on profit can make a destruction on our earth and also destruction or exploitation of a human being. Why? Because the shareholders of the company, because of egoistic interest, they want only money for their investment in the company, and how to get high profit. Of course, the company should reduce expand, should reduce the wage of the labor, something like that, and also reduce the expense in maintaining in our environment. That's why the negative effect of the reducing the expense then result in any damage on our earth and also exploitation of labor. I think this is the effect, the negative effect, because we only concentrate on getting profit only. That's all I think.
Okay, thank you. Did I invite from the floor here? Actually, Professor Iwan just now have another event, so he just want to one question from the floor. Nothing? Ada pertanyaan di sini yang sementara offline? Baik, sesungguhnya tinggal satu pertanyaan saja untuk Diju, karena saat ini Profesor Iwan ada kegiatan lain dan harus segera leave dari Zoom ini. Baik, pertanyaannya mohon simple kepada Profesor Iwan. Disilakan kepada Fitriani Daeng Mabunga.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for the time. My name is Fitriani Daeng Mabunga. I am from Sharia Accounting Department. I am interested to the future accounting statement number 4 and 5. Could you explain how to make profit waste implementation statement and green human define consciousness statement. Thank you.
Okay, maybe you can answer directly, Professor.
Sorry, you mean the statement, yeah, of the future accounting? Is that right? Sorry. Yeah, hello. Can you repeat your question, Fitriani?
Fitriana. Fitriani?
Can you repeat your question?
Oke. Pertanyaan tolong diperjelas.
Please unmute.
Ya. Unmute panitia, tolong. Mohon panitia.
Okay.
Okay.
My name is Fitriani Mabunga. I am from Sharia Accounting Department. I am interested to the future accounting statement. To the future accounting statement number 4 and 5. Can you explain how to make profit waste implementation statement and green human defeat consciousness statement?
Okay. Yeah, okay. Thank you very much for the question. It's very interesting. Actually, this is a new idea how we make a statement, or in Indonesia we call it as laporan, ya, laporan akuntansi untuk pada masa yang akan datang. The first one is actually as usual, we have a profit and loss statement, ini laporan laba rugi. We can use also another concept that we have based on the theory of enterprise value added statement. This is about the pie that can be produced by the company, the work that can be produced by the company, and should be distributed to the stakeholders. And then the second one is the planet welfare statement. It is the reports about the welfare of the planet. But actually, this new concept, we don't have any measurement about this. Yeah. And also the welfare of people, we don't have yet the measure, how to measure the welfare of people. And the fourth one is about the implementation of the pragmatic base. This is the report about the commitment kepatuhan syariah. Yeah. In Indonesian we call it laporan kepatuhan syariah. This is actually the statement of the management of the company, that the company or the management comply with the Sharia. Yeah. And then the last one is the statement of the green human defined consciousness. This is also, we don't have yet the measurement and indicator how to measure or to report the consciousness of stakeholders about the concern of environmental concern, and also the concern of human friendly, and also about the faith or the taqwa, defined consciousness. So this is very new concept, may be developed by everyone. Yeah, maybe you can develop this concept in your strata skripsi gitu ya, strata 1 skripsi. Maybe also you can expand or develop this concept in other research. So this is very new, and we need more concrete concept that may applicable in the business for sustaining our business. Yeah. So this is the content is actually supporting the sustainable business. That's all. I think. Thanks for the question, Itiani.
Thank you very much for Professor Ian. Because time is up, so I would like all the audience has on your camera because the committee will take a picture for you. Panitia. Mohon kepada semua peserta untuk bisa mengaktifkan semua kameranya karena panitia akan mengambil gambar. Baik. Maybe I will count here. Yang lainnya belum mengaktifkan kameranya, dipersilakan kepada seluruh peserta untuk bisa mengaktifkan kameranya. And then I give a big thanks for all the speaker that our speaker are Mrs. Faisal Abdullah PhD, and the second speaker or our speaker in this time, the second Christina Filzun PhD, and the last is his Professor Iwan Triyono PhD, that we will meet again for the next session in the third annual conference from Islamic Economic and Business, IAIN Sultan Amai Gorontalo. I would like for we'll meet again for the next section, and then I will stopping for our meeting in this time. Thank you very much for your attention. We'll meet again for tomorrow for a 3 speaker again, and then we will would like you have attend this Zoom in the 9 o'clock, right? Thank you very much for your attention. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Sultupits on you.
Okay, thank you. I leave.
Thank you very much, Professor Iwan.
You're welcome.